It's perfect.
Let me do something here. All right. That's done. How's your day?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Could be better. It could be better. My nose could quit like running, and I wouldn't. That would be better.
Hell yeah. Hi, Triton. I turned down the lights a little bit in here. I wonder if I should turn them up. It's a little dark.
Your face is dark.
My face is dark? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Hi, Karen.
Trying to get.
Is it Rafiq? How are you?
I'm coming into the chat, people.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Julie's coming in the chat.
I'm here.
Wonder what this light would do.
Don't forget to change your top chat to live chat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Hi, Jason. Susan. Hello, sarcastic sister. Jules, how are you? Hi, Cynthia. Gerald. Have you seen the story from last night over the 2-year-old U.S. citizen who was deported to Honduras? No, I didn't see that.
Me neither.
I did not see that. Give it about 1 more minute for some more people to come in. How you guys doing over here on TikTok? Please like the live. Hi, Zelda.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Dying Breed, and welcome to the live. Oh, we're on TikTok too. That's right. I got to go to that.
Juju is burning bush? Like in the Bible? Like in the
Brush.
Bible? Huh?
Brush. Brush. She's burning brush.
Oh. Maybe I should put my glasses on. Okay. Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
Thank you, George Guzman. I appreciate that. So a 2-year-old. A 2-year-old deported? A 2-year-old citizen? That's
That
crazy.
that that is absolutely crazy. I'm gonna have to look into that. I did not see that. Where were they deported at?
Well, they went to
From, I mean.
Honduras, but I don't know where they.
Okay, here it is. No meaningful process.
So the
Huh.
the 2-year-old born in America is a citizen. Was the mother not a citizen?
I guess so. Alongside with her mother and her sister, she was sent there with her mother and her sister.
Fuzzard. Buzzard. I just see Fuzzard's name and I start laughing. I don't know why.
I know.
Good lord. Poor guy up in Maine. I wonder what's happening in Maine today. Thank you for the gift, Fuzzard. I appreciate that.
Huh. Wow.
Okay, well, I'll let Jill read a little bit about that, and I'll go ahead and start on what's above my head. I don't know if you guys recognize these maps, but these are shipping maps. These are today, container ships and other types of ships as well. To my left is an empty map. That is the Port of Los Angeles. The Port of Los Angeles, which 31% of all of the goods we import into this country come through that port up there in that picture, which, as you can see, is empty. And on the other side is a picture of the port at Shanghai. All of those shipping containers. And so this looks as bad, maybe worse, as it did during COVID when we ran out of stuff. That's what's coming. These are the shipping maps. And keep in mind, once, it's my understanding, once this gets settled, what is it, about 20 days? About 20 days to get this stuff here to us here. So what that means is if we run out of stuff, and it looks like that's going to happen, right? It looks like the shelves are going to start going crazy. MBW wet spot, I don't know what that means, but says 25 days, okay? 25 days. Once we run out of stuff, even if they fix it right then, we're 25 days out from that stuff coming over here so it can be our stuff, right? And I thought the visual of these shipping maps was kind of eye-opening. A lot of people think, like Bob thinks the recession is over. Bob's like, I survived the Trump recession. Bob doesn't know what's coming. And what's coming is we're not going to have stuff on the shelves. And what does that mean for the millions of truck drivers that move this stuff? And what does that mean for the millions of businesses that sell this stuff? That's not good. That
What does
is bad.
that is very bad. And
That
what
is,
what
yeah.
does it mean for the people who need it?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I remember during COVID, I had to buy toilet paper from China.
Right.
Came in a little bitty roll because, I don't know, Chinese people don't poop like Americans, I guess. It was
Oh my God.
But these are a lot of our basic goods that we use every day, right? And the reason the map on the other side off the coast of China is so busy is because they are still shipping and receiving stuff to all the other countries in the world. There, you can look at the arrows on this map and see where all these ships are going. They're going to Australia. They're going to South Korea. They're going everywhere. They're going all over the world. They have inbound traffic. They have outbound traffic. I zoomed in on this map here. It looks like we have roughly 20% of the cargo in this port that we would normally have. And what's even maybe more disturbing is there's always a lot of cargo out at sea waiting to go into the port. That's why you have so much of this stuff kind of sitting out at sea waiting. We don't have nothing at sea waiting. So even if the port was full, there's nothing waiting, right?
Right.
And in order to keep our shelves full, not only does the port have to be active and busy, and it should have roughly 70 to 80 container ships on any given day, but it should also have, ships out here waiting. We don't have none of that. There's nothing at the Port of Los Angeles. 31%. Well, I shouldn't say there's nothing. There's some ships there. Yeah, it's not a complete disaster. It's just 95% of a disaster. I'll put it to you that way. Oh man,
That's
unbelievable.
crazy. So, who was it? Dying Breed said, "Where is Charmin manufactured?" Well, one of their largest factories is here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and the thing is, the factories we have in the United States, like Charmin, they can't increase their production enough to make up for the loss of things that aren't from the United States, right?
Right.
And I don't know the numbers, but say we get, I don't know, some percentage. Let's just say it's 20%, right? If you get 20% of your toilet paper from China, right, and that's
Right.
gone, the factories in the United States can't pick up that 20%.
Exactly. And the prices are also going to go up.
Right. The law of supply and demand, right?
Yes.
The law of supply and demand. And I remember looking at these maps during COVID when the shelves were empty and people were showing these maps. And I saw someone else did a video on this and showed these maps on TikTok. I'm not sure who it was. That's where I got it. I went and looked at them myself at a couple of different sites just to make sure it was accurate. This is marineshipping.com is where these came from. There's multiple sites where you can look at these maps. This particular map is from marineshipping.com. Yeah, don't squeeze the Charmin. Um, so you might want to consider, I don't know how many sheets of Charmin or whatever you use on a typical wipe. You might want to consider reducing that.
Get a bidet. I suggest that we get a bidet. I have one already.
How are other ports looking? I don't know. I haven't looked at the other ports. I haven't looked at the other ports. This Los Angeles port is the largest one in the country, 31% of all of our goods. So I looked at that, but I can go look. We can go look at the other ones. Um, I'm guessing they won't be as bad because our main beef right now, apparently, no pun intended, is China, right? We're still trading with the
Yes,
other countries, right? This stuff's been put on a pause. Uh,
I believe so.
yeah,
You know what's going to hurt is young girls and women who need feminine hygiene products because that's going to go up in price and that's going to hurt them. I silenced you.
me. Roger
Yes.
says, Roger over on TikTok, we have a friend in common. Who is it, if you don't mind saying on social media? If you don't want to state their name on social media, I understand. I am curious, though, who our common friend is. We're currently seeing about 2,000 layoffs due to Canadian tariffs. Wow.
And Sarcastic Sister said bidets are going to skyrocket in popularity. And they are, and the prices are going to go up. I'm glad I have mine.
Roger says, Brandy. I don't know who Brandy is, Roger. Um, I'm old. Like, I forget who my friends are sometimes. So yeah, this is not good for obvious reasons. If this has to be explained to you, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God.
So and then there's one concern we should have is when people start um, seeing this more regularly. Are we going to have a run on the stores? You know, what's going to happen? Oh man, I shouldn't even have brought it up. Someone's probably running to the store right now because I brought it up.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it. So Roger replied to your comment.
Okay, Roger. Let me simmer on that, or think on that. Uh, is the statement from POTUS, "We don't need Canada," true? There are no statements from POTUS that I've heard that are true. I mean, honestly, I can't think of anything he's said, certainly recently, that's true. Can you?
No.
I did see a reporter ask him how he feels about lying to the American people every day, and he just went to that ex-reporter. He didn't even respond. So, the President of the United States is. Oh, he's at the funeral today, huh? He's at the Pope's funeral.
Yeah. Poor Zelensky has to keep putting up with it with him no matter where he goes. Oh my God.
Yes, we have the administration denying disaster relief to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, his former, secretary of, you know, White House secretary, press secretary. That's funny.
Misbehave and said, "What website are you on?" Not sure what you're talking about. Website for what? How about his blue suit that he wore?
Did he fall asleep? I saw a picture that him looked like he was sleeping, but you never know if these things are true or not. So I thought, well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Did he fall asleep?
I don't know, but I know the blue suit. I do know the blue suit.
Yeah.
Who wears a blue suit to the Pope's funeral?
Well, I mean, it's
No,
not.
I'm just doing this
It's
because of the tan suit.
yeah. We're, she's just doing this because of the tan suit. No, I don't think she really gives a shit about the suit, but
I don't. I just find it like, you know, pretty funny.
now the sleeping thing, if that's true, that would certainly uh, be much more disrespectful than the suit. Um, Texting. I heard he was texting. I didn't see it. I heard he was texting and sleeping. Maybe someone texted him and said, "You should take a nap." Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe.
Trump wasn't asleep,
Maybe.
he was in a coma.
Oh my God.
Oh. I I don't even have a black suit, so I don't remember what I wore to the last funeral I went to.
You should always have a black suit.
Why?
It's a must.
Why should I have a black suit?
You should have a black suit
Why?
just because it's like a must.
Trust me, bro, is not an answer, Jill. Why do I gotta
Well,
have a black
that's an
suit?
answer because if there's like a funeral that you got to attend, a wedding, anything, you can wear a black suit,
You
right?
can certainly wear a
You
black
should
suit to
always
a
have,
wedding, that's for sure.
right.
I mean, it is, you know, for all intents and purposes, it is a death.
I I I can't help you with that one. I really can't.
I know black suits are
Ah,
respectful. I'm just saying I don't have one. I'm not a suit person. I don't have a suit of any color. I don't own a suit.
I do have a question. Did he leave the the Pope's funeral early.
I don't know. Did they not have any food? Hey, you gotta have food.
I don't, I don't know. Hi, Nani.
You know, some finger foods. I wonder if they had any ham. I bet
I,
ham at the Pope's funeral would be good. I bet that would be a quality ham. What do you think?
oh my God, I don't know.
What?
At the
They,
funeral?
they, they
No.
had food at the last funeral I went to.
And after the funeral, right?
Yeah.
You attended like a
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's
No, we weren't sitting
okay.
in the pews eating ham sandwiches.
I was just gonna ask, just in case.
We
You never
weren't,
know.
yeah, yeah, we weren't, slamming Lay's potato chips while they were speaking. That was after the funeral.
I'm gonna make out a request for mine, like that people just sit there and eat while they're talking.
Trump wants chicken nuggets? Probably. He probably wants chicken nuggets and Big Macs at the Pope's funeral.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
Probably.
2 all beef patties, special sauce. Yeah, you gotta have it. Ray Kroc could deliver those himself from McDonald's.
Like Jules said, in Rome you eat pasta. Well, he probably is. He's probably eating McDonald's.
Do they put pasta on Big Macs in Rome?
My God, he left the Pope's funeral early. He was pooped.
He was pooped. They did have food.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't make me cough.
It seems a little spastic to me that we're concerned about Trump's behavior at the funeral with these maps up here above us.
I know.
when
I
I
know.
can't when I can't wipe my ass, I'm not going to be thinking about Donald Trump's funeral behavior.
Right. Well, we can right now. So we were just laughing at him. I
No,
mean,
I know.
it's
I'm just
all
kidding.
fun. It's all fun to laugh at him.
It is chilly and rainy where I live today. It's a dreary day.
Same here.
My backyard's a mud hole.
It's 54 degrees here.
Yeah. The they dug up my backyard and now it's a mud hole because it's done nothing but rain since they finished.
So someone asked what we're looking at. So they're asking about the ports. So new people came in and are
What are we
wondering
looking
what's
at?
going on
So,
with it. Yeah.
so this is the port of Los Angeles, where 31% of all of our goods come into the United States, and it's empty. This is the port in Shanghai, China, which is full. Stuff coming in, stuff going out, stuff going to all the other countries, just not to our country, right? And this is what the port of Los Angeles looked like during COVID when we ran out of shit, right? So this is what's coming. I'm already seeing the shelves in my local stores. They're not empty, but they're thinning. Like you can tell. They have a couple of like everything, you know? They still have all the stuff. There's just not hardly any of it there. Like when you go to the store and buy something, you're getting the last one or the next to last one. Instead of having 25 of them on the shelf, there's one or two or three, right? That's what I'm seeing where I live.
Right.
I don't know what other people are seeing where they live, but that's what I'm seeing where I live. The car lots are emptying. We have a brand new
Yeah.
car lot.
It's
Go ahead.
it's happening here too.
Yeah. The shelves are thinning. And what are they going to look like in a week? Are they going to be empty? Do I have a picture of what the ports normally look like? Well, this port normally has ships in it. And not as many as this port, but a lot more. There should be green everywhere. I can find a historical picture maybe. These are today. These are current. Um, right now in this port, by my calculations, because I actually zoomed in on this and counted the number of container ships. Um, there's about 15 or 20% of the number of container ships that would be here on a typical day. So there are some ships here, but it's about 15 or 20% of the number that would normally be.
This is actually not. This is really not good at all.
No,
This is bad.
it's bad. It's bad. And so the question is, what's going to be the excuse? What are we going to hear? What's Bob going to say?
Oh my God.
Bob's going to
Bob will
say,
probably be like, "This was the plan.
yeah,
This is good."
it's all part of the plan.
Hi, Bruiser.
It's all part of the plan, really. I guess you don't need anything on the shelves if the people that put stuff on the shelves don't have jobs to buy the stuff on the shelves.
Right.
Okay, Bruiser. This is the Port of Los Angeles. Okay, this is where the United States gets 31% of its goods imported into the country. It's and this is the Port of Shanghai. This is empty. This is full. Okay? This is what the Port of Los Angeles looked like during COVID when all of our shelves went empty, where we couldn't buy toilet paper, we couldn't buy all kinds of stuff. And the stuff we could buy became very expensive because of the law of supply and demand, right? So China's in business. China's in business. I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but if the ship has an arrow on it, it's moving. It's either inbound or outbound. There's thousands of arrows here where the ships are moving. That means it's not stagnant. That means there's products coming in, there's products going out. They're trading with the rest of the world. Here, the few ships that are here are not moving. And the reason they're not moving is because they're in the port being unloaded, and there's nothing waiting to go out. There's nothing waiting to come in. Everything there's no arrows on container ships on this picture. That's bad. That's another really bad thing. So, not good. Not good.
Not good at all.
Things are going to get expensive. Whatever is left to buy will be more expensive for sure. One thing people overlooked in 21 was the lack of cardboard, which a lot of it, either the raw material or whole material, comes from, you guessed it, China. Thank you, Glober. I did not know that.
Huh. That's going to hurt. So, this is why I want a bread maker.
That's why you want a bread maker.
Yeah.
What site can I
Bread's
find
going to.
these shipping charts on? This is shippingmaps.com, but if you just Google shipping map, it'll pull up multiple sites, and you can see these same maps on multiple sites. Go ahead, Jill. I'm sorry. Jill, were you going to say something?
Oh, sorry. No. I wasn't. I was sneezing. And you're good. Don't worry about it. I couldn't answer you. So
Right. So in the coming days, we're gonna we're gonna see product shortages. I don't know what products, but we're gonna see shortages. Like I said, we have a brand new car lot in my town. It's not well. It's about a year old. Big, nice, beautiful car lot. It's got two cars in it. Okay. It's usually got about 150 or so. I don't know, maybe 200. It's usually packed full. It's even got overflow. Two cars in that fucking lot. And as stated before, it's 25 days. So if this was solved today, it would take 25 days to get this stuff over here. Okay? 25 days. So nearly a month.
I agree, Kelly. Yeah. Bread's going to go up in price too because um, when the things start getting limited on the shelves, a lot of people are going to buy a lot of bread. Supply and demand.
Now, this should not have been an unforeseen consequence, but it is. This is how stupid the administration is. Like, they had no idea that if we stopped getting stuff from China, we wouldn't have shit. And Trump's going to be like, what happened? What happened to the stuff? Because they don't know
He's
how
going to,
anything
yeah,
works. They literally don't know how anything works. They got to be the dumbest people on the planet.
they have to be. That's why I said, how can, like Bob, how can one person be so dumb? He's like 25 dumb people mixed together as one.
No, okay, I'm gonna push back, Jill. I think Bob is 3/5 of one dumb person. That's what
Oh
Bob
my
is.
God.
Bob is 3/5 of a dumb person.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Did you see my 3/5 video?
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
that's where that came from. Um, you know how I said I didn't want to talk about who I would support in the Canadian election?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, in a video I said I would probably go with Carney. You know, boy, I caught hell for that.
Mm-hmm.
I caught a lot of hell for that.
Really? Why?
Well, there's anti-Carney people, obviously, um,
Obviously. What
but
are they, Maple Mega?
I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I don't care.
Maple Mega. I bet you. That's the ones that are complaining.
Yeah, they loved me till they didn't.
I don't think them ones ever liked you.
I don't know how many messages I got that said, "With all due respect." You can always tell when you're getting a hate message from a Canadian because it starts off with all due respect, sir."
I'm sorry, I have to tell you this.
Yeah. And when you get a hate message from an American, it's like a straight up death threat.
That I think that's probably the truth.
When someone says to me, with all due respect, it reminds me of Talladega Nights. Um, it just does. So the University of Southern California came out with a study about gas prices in California, they concluded that price gouging being a cause for gas prices in California is a myth, and they stated all of the reasons why gas prices are high in California. And it's literally all of my content put into a study by the University of Southern California. It's everything I've been telling people for years. And Robert Rapier published a study on Forbes, and it's everything Robert Rapier's been saying for years as well. I made a comment on there where someone said, I bet Robert was really happy to write this article, and I stated he probably had it written 4 years ago, and he just changed the headline to USC study, right? So that's not going to bode well for Gavin Newsom when I don't know if USC is. It's got to be certainly one of the larger, um, preeminent education institutions in the state of California, right? It's probably up there with Stanford and Cal, and it's one of the big schools. And they're coming out and basically saying that Gavin Newsom's full of shit. And one of the things that I liked about it is the professor at USC that did this study. His name's Michael Mish. He's an independent. And I was happy to see that. I was happy to see that he's an independent.
So you said you seen the picture of him sleeping, and you just figured,
I saw a blurry picture, like a screenshot of him sleeping. And anytime I see a picture of anything, I don't take it for, like, they'll caption it like, hey, this is Donald Trump sleeping.
right?
I take it with a grain of salt. Any picture
I do
can be
too.
manipulated. But if there was a
I
video of him sleeping, yeah, I would certainly say he was sleeping. But
Well, his mouth is wide open.
I need to see more before I will say he was sleeping, is what I'm saying.
No, I agree with
There's
you.
so much
I
fake
agree with you.
information out there.
But his mouth was wide open, and it's quite funny. Hi, Tracy. His mouth was hanging open.
He was waiting for Vance to stick something in it.
Oh my God! I haven't called.
Now, do I believe he was sleeping? Yeah, I believe it, but I'm not going to say it until I know it.
Until you know it, right? So, as for that 2-year-old, there isn't much on it yet, but they said that the Trump administration appeared to have deported a 2-year-old U.S. citizen with no meaningful process. A federal judge said on Friday, as the child's father sought to have her returned to the United States. U.S. District Judge Terry Dowd, I think that's it, said the girl who was referred to as VML in court documents was deported with her mother. The judge said it is illegal and unconstitutional to deport, detain, or deportation or recommended deportation of a U.S. citizen. Detained for deportation. If I could talk today, that would be great. But, yeah. So there isn't a lot on it yet. But it was not legal.
What I'm wondering is, did they get a statement from the father? I doubt they got a statement from the mother because she got deported, right?
Yes, the mother was deported. I guess if he gives a statement, then we'll, I don't think he gave one yet. At least I didn't see one.
I'm just curious, if the mother wanted her children to go with her.
So Susan says the mother wanted to take her, but dad has rights.
The mother wanted to take her, but the dad has rights. Okay.
And the dad was in court trying to stop it.
The father didn't want the child to go, says Allie.
So,
Well, no, I'm just trying to get the whole
the
story, right? Because we never get the whole story. We always get
right,
a
right.
narrative.
So ICE is saying, that the mother wanted the child or something. But we'll find out when more comes out.
Well, I'm not.
For now,
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to believe anything ICE says,
me neither.
even if it was the truth. I'm not going to believe it.
Exactly.
It, it all comes down to credibility, right? And what I've heard repeatedly from people that have gone through stuff with ICE is it seems like they have a script. And when they are questioned why they are doing whatever they're doing, ICE says, ask the government. I'm following orders, ask the government. And I've heard
Yeah, I'm
this,
just doing my job.
yeah, just doing my job, ask the government. Now, when ICE says that, I believe it because it's been said all over the country. In all of these instances, I hear ICE saying, I'm doing my job, ask the government, following orders, right? But for ICE to
Right.
expand on that and say, well, the mother wanted to take the child, the father this, and start explaining stuff in more detail, I'm not going to believe it when they start explaining stuff in detail because they haven't explained anything in detail yet. Um, so if they said it, I don't believe it. And I honestly don't even know if they said it. So um,
Exactly.
I just wouldn't trust anything ICE says.
Oh no, I'm with you on that. Everything you said.
But I don't trust what a lot of people say. So, like, that's. I don't.
Well, trust issues.
I do. I have trust issues.
I I do too.
Yeah. Something about being lied to my whole life by everybody has
Yes.
strangely created trust issues in me.
Exactly.
So I'm not super familiar with Honduras, but I don't. Something tells me it's not a great place for a 2-year-old.
So I'm going to
Especially,
assume the mother left there for a reason.
well, I'm just saying, like, you know, do they have anywhere to go? Like, are they just going to be out in the middle of Honduras, like wandering around? Like, where are these people going to go, right?
Right. Does he have a camp built there for them too?
Yeah, is there a prison in Honduras like the one in El Salvador? I don't know.
I don't know either.
So this reminds me of a story I'll share with you guys. Not last night, but the night before, my wife got a phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was a police officer. And my wife takes medication to sleep. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, if she does wake up, she's certainly not going anywhere. Anyway, this police officer was telling her that he wanted her to drive to this house out in the country that she supposedly had listed for sale because he suspected someone was in the house. And my wife got into a fight with this cop over the phone. And she said, I don't know what the fuck you're smoking, but I'm not going anywhere at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's your fucking problem. Anyway, it turns out that this officer had called because it wasn't my wife's house to begin with. This officer had called the wrong person. And the next day, my wife called the woman that the officer had intended to call and told her what happened. And that woman called the police station at like 6 in the morning and said, I want to talk to this officer. Because I was telling my wife, I said, there's a good chance that this wasn't even a police officer. This could have been anybody claiming to be a police officer to get a realtor out to a house in the middle of nowhere to do something to them in the middle of the night.
A realtor as a woman, yes.
It turns out that it was a police officer, and his excuse was that he wanted a realtor to come to the house to help him clear the house. So in the middle of the night, a police officer is calling a realtor, a woman who is a realtor, to drive out to the middle of nowhere to help him clear a house in the middle of the night. So I called, or I spoke to my wife, and I said, you need to call that woman back. I won't say her name. And that officer needs to be investigated.
I agree.
That police officer is the most suspicious person in this entire thing because there was never a call to the police department that there was any suspicious activity at that house.
Oh, shit.
Okay? There was never a call to the police department that there was anything going on at that house. He was not called to go to that house. And now he was claiming that he pulled somebody over. By the way, there's no record of him pulling anyone over either. He's now claiming that he pulled someone over, and that somebody that he pulled over, that there's no record of, claimed that he saw someone climbing into a window of this house out in the middle of nowhere.
So all of his excuses
are bullshit.
Just don't add up. Yeah, they don't add up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this police officer is not from our town because this house was so far away. It's from another town's. It's a whole other town police station.
Right.
So I'm thinking about driving. I'm thinking about going to that town and having a word with that police chief. Because there's something very strange happening. Who calls a realtor to come clear a house in the middle of the night, in the middle of the country where nobody's around? There was no call to the police department about any activity at that house. There's no record of this person he supposedly pulled over that said there was someone crawling in the window of that house. At the end of the day, the only thing we can verify is that in the middle of the night, a police officer was asking a woman to come out to a house in the middle of nowhere and help him clear a house. I think this police officer needs to be investigated.
I think he needs investigated.
And by the way,
I'm not sure what.
If here's the thing, if you want to do something like that, like if you have a devious mind and you're trying to get some woman out to a house to do something criminal, whatever the thought was, a realtor is the last person you call.
Yes.
There is no realtor that's going to do that because they are already hyper aware of the dangers of their job as it is.
Yep.
So no realtor that has any experience is ever going to do that.
Well, a realtor is going to know that you don't call the realtor out to a house being broken into. It just, they know that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This house was listed for sale, and there's a sign in the yard. And the woman, the realtor that was the actual realtor, um, she's an extremely attractive woman. And her picture's on this sign. And there's two phone numbers on this sign. Her phone number and the agency's phone number. And he tried to call her first multiple times. Tried to call her half a dozen times. She didn't answer. It's the middle of the night. So then he calls the agency number. And that's my wife. Highly suspicious of this person right now.
I am too. And when did that happen?
Not last night, but the night before.
Wow. Yeah, I there's something going on there.
And listen, my wife is the last person you want to talk to at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to go well.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
She basically told him to go fuck himself, and I am not paraphrasing. She said, "You can
That
go
is
fuck
funny.
yourself. I don't care who you are." Because he kept saying, "I'm a police officer." And she said, "I don't give two fucks who you are." Because that's who Mrs. Global is. She's just like Mr. Global. She don't give two fucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, someone who can deal with me on a daily basis is not likely someone that gives a fuck if you have a badge on. I can promise you that. Especially at 4 o'clock in the morning. What would he have done if you would have showed up with your wife? I wouldn't have showed up with my wife because we wouldn't have gone. But I have gone and done things with my wife to ensure her safety. Um, but nothing like that. You know, some guy calls and wants to look at a property out in the middle of nowhere. I've gone with her to do things like that to just ensure that it's not, you know, something it shouldn't be. Never had a problem. Raymond Berry, thank you so much for the super chat. I got a lot of messages yesterday from people in Canada. They're like, "Hey, I'm listening to you on the radio in Canada." So apparently my interview aired with Shane Hewitt. Um, I didn't listen to it myself, but I got a lot of messages. And I'm doing that again in 2 weeks. So I don't know if any of you people know who Shane Hewitt is. He's a radio guy in Colorado, or not Colorado, Canada, um, that is broadcast, I think, across the entire country because it's on iHeartRadio. Um, May the 7th, May the 7th, I do a more extended interview with him, and I think that'll be done on a regular basis. So thank you for the people that reached out to me and was like, "Hey, it's cool listening to you on the radio in Canada." I didn't hear it myself, but so thank you guys. We did confirm, Dying Breed, that he was an officer, and that's when he started giving excuses. The woman he intended to call actually got him on the phone, and she wore his ass out over the phone. None of it adds up to me. None of it makes any sense. If I think there's a dangerous person in the house, the last thing I'm going to do is call a realtor to come
Right.
help me. I'm going to call backup, right? I'm going to call another officer. I mean, I'm not a cop, but I know I don't get on the phone and start calling realtors to come out. So he told her that basically he wanted her to stand at the back door. He was going to go in the front door, and she wanted him to, and he wanted her to intervene if the perp tried to come out the back door. That was his
Are you
intent.
fucking kidding me?
Yes, that was his intent. That's what he told her. That he wanted her to help in case the guy came out the back door.
Wow.
Yeah, very suspicious.
Yeah. Yeah,
Best
very much so.
best case scenario. Best case scenario. That cop is the dumbest son of a bitch on the planet. Worst case scenario. He's a criminal with a badge. And I'm leaning towards worst case scenario.
I am too.
Yeah,
I am as well. That just does not seem right.
I agree, Karen. I agree that he needs to be fired and investigated
Yeah.
because
And investigated to see
if
who else he did this to.
exactly, what are the odds this is the first time he's done something stupid?
Right.
So he's either too stupid to be a cop or he's a criminal. Either way, he shouldn't be a cop.
Yeah, I agree.
Unbelievable.
That's quite scary though.
Oh. Yeah, I think I may need to make a trip over there.
Oh, you sound like me.
I had to take bail money.
I would want to go to.
Should I?
Yeah, you might need it.
Should I take bail
You
money?
better get, you should absolutely take bail money or at least have somebody have the bail money and come up there. Yeah.
I think it would be a great TikTok. What do you think?
Oh my God.
Would they
You don't
arrest me?
ever put it on video,
Oh, yes, you
probably.
do. In that scenario, I put all that on video.
They probably will arrest you.
Just like the ceramic cat. When the officer came to my house, he had to wait for me because I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm making a TikTok video. Give me a minute." Spooky though. It's spooky to me. It's I don't know. All the red flags. All the red flags are going up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Should I just approach the guy somewhere like in a cafe with my camera on? Hey man, why do you need my wife?
Yeah,
Why do you need my wife to help you clear a house at 4 o'clock in the morning out in the middle of nowhere? I'm just curious. You don't have any backup, buddy?
that that would definitely. Do you have like a? Do they have like a cafe that's a bus or something or a train? Like,
A train?
that would be really cool. Yeah, like a caboose type of train that they have a cafe in. That's where you should do it. Something like that.
Yeah. Maybe they have a. Maybe it'll be at a donut shop.
No, not to push him under. That's no, you can't do that. And you really don't want to video that. I just meant like they have them cafes that have the caboose. They have them inside there. Something like that would be really cool. You can video as you're coming up the whole cafe. It looks like a caboose, and then you go inside, and then you sit there and wait for him with your camera on. Don't you think that'd be pretty cool?
Yeah, it would. But I mean, I think it'd be cooler at a donut shop.
I think, yeah. Well, you could order him a donut and have it sitting there waiting for him.
I could ask him to recommend a donut. And then when he does, I
And
could say, are these the donuts you use to lure women out into the middle of the country in the middle of the night when no one's looking?
oh my god,
Are these the
huh?
donuts you use?
I don't know if I would go for it. Well, I don't know. I really like donuts. He called me 4 o'clock in the morning and be like, "I got this kind of donut." I'd be like, "All right, where are we meeting?" Now, if he called and said I have a sugar donut, I'd be like, "Yeah, you can shove that up your ass."
So what kind of
Well,
donut
then
would
I'd
it
like
take? What kind of donut
so.
would it take to get you out there? A jelly donut? What?
I like jelly donuts, and I like the donuts with chocolate on them, and I like the custard donuts. I like all kinds of donuts, but I just don't like the plain sugar donuts.
Well, I hope Barney Fife isn't on watching the live right now. He's probably headed to the donut shop.
You think he's going to message me to give me a donut?
Yeah, he's probably getting some apple fritters. That's right.
I don't really like apple fritters. That wouldn't work. My God.
I don't think you should be telling people what they can use to lure you out into the middle of the country. I just don't feel like
It's
that's
really Halloween stuff. It is. It's really Halloween stuff. They would literally have to have Halloween stuff.
like Smarties.
No, I'm not talking candy. I'm talking Halloween decorations. If they have a
Oh,
van of Halloween decorations, I'm
you,
getting in it.
you want to see my Halloween decorations?
Yes. No, no, they have to be giving it to me. Be like, I got some Halloween decorations here for you. They free? Yeah, they're free. Okay, let me in.
What about oily meat sticks? Kelly said, oily meat sticks. They seem to be
No,
rather an attractive item here lately.
no oily meat sticks that can't lure me with that. I can get my own.
You can get your own Halloween
I guess I could get my
decorations.
own Halloween. I was just gonna say, I guess I could get my own Halloween decorations, but they're so expensive. I'd rather someone just give them to me.
Yeah.
So if they have a truck full of Halloween decorations, I'm getting in.
Oh my God, you're hopeless. Dawn and Anna, thank you so much for the bronze membership. I really appreciate that. I got to figure out how I would approach that conversation though with the chief of police.
Oh, Bruiser, your house is a meat trap. That's awesome.
Don't tell her that.
Hey, I'm good with that too, Bruiser. I like it. I need to visit Bruiser.
You should, maybe I don't think you
So
should. Bruiser could be a psycho killer. You don't
no.
know. You don't know
Oh, come
Bruiser.
on. Look at the stuff she has. Like, see, I told you, I will go there to visit her with that stuff.
Oh boy. Be careful.
Oh, it'll be all right.
Bruiser could be like the Canadian Night Stalker. That's all I'm saying. You don't know.
You know your guest is extremely loud. Your guest is extremely loud.
Well, mine is low and yours is high, is what
Everyone keeps saying.
everyone? Everyone says
Well,
you're
there's a
high?
couple people. Yes,
Really?
and you're low.
Okay. Turn Jill down a little bit.
Turn yourself up. I'm not the guest though.
That's true. She's not a guest. She's part of the show. I do love Halloween, but I can't. Yeah, not that much. Not enough to get into a van with somebody. Plane tickets are getting cheaper as domestic travel demand weakens. Yeah, people are afraid to go anywhere because they don't know if they'll get back in their country.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not either.
That's not a thing.
If I do, I can't take my phone. We are witchy, Bruiser.
Which he's fine. Um, yeah, because Jill's a witch. I don't have any problem with witchy.
He always says that.
Well, because you said that. You said you were a witch. I didn't make that up.
No, what started that conversation?
I
There was
don't know.
something
It
that
was like
started it.
4 years ago.
It was you that started it. You said that something about me putting a curse, and I said yes because I'm a witch.
Right.
So that's how it started. They're saying your volume is low. That's the main issue. I don't know if you can fix your volume. Can you fix your volume?
Yeah, right here.
All right.
I think. Uh, let's try this one.
All right, everyone. How's his volume? Remember, you got a 15-second delay on YouTube, so you wait a second. Well, 15 seconds anyway.
If Border Patrol got a hold of my phone, they'd send me to El Salvador. Really?
Well, they would definitely do something with me. You see my Facebook.
I'm not taking a burner phone anywhere. If I can't take my phone, then it's not safe to go. With or without a burner phone. Because then they'd be like, why do you have a burner phone? Because they would know.
Hmm.
TC says, I'm canceling my trip to the United States. I don't blame you.
So okay, they may know it's a burner phone, but here's what I would do. I would make a fake account on everything and then just install all those apps and they would be on them fake accounts and then say this is a burner phone and these are all fake accounts and I'd be like prove it. Prove it.
Then you get arrested
For what? Nothing?
for saying prove it.
But well, that's nothing. But But if I take my real phone and they look at it, they'd be like, I'd be arrested anyway,
And that's also
right?
nothing.
It's also nothing, but it would be a worse nothing.
No, there's nothing worse about your free speech on your phone.
I know. That's why I said it would be a worse nothing.
Yeah.
Saying prove it is pretty bad, but free speech on my phone is a worse nothing.
Yeah. Or you could just say, fuck off. You're not
I
looking
would.
at my phone regardless.
I would.
Yeah. Show me a warrant.
It's not like I can put it up to my face and it will come on because I do not have face recognition on my phone. They'd have to cut my thumb off.
And they might. They might cut your
And
thumb off, Jill.
the only issue they would have with that is I would just take my fingers and wrap them around my thumb and hold it really tight, and then my fingers would get stuck there, right? So they're not getting my thumbs out then.
You can burn your fingerprints, Jill. Just take out a lighter and go,
No,
and then
I'm
say,
not
what's
doing
up
all that. That's
now?
crazy. What's
What's up now, big guy?
Oh my god.
I just melted my fingerprint. What are you going to do?
I'm trying not to cough.
Why would you cough?
Laugh, I cough. So I had to mute so I could cough.
I'm just trying to figure out if
That
there's a
whole
way
thing's
to
messed up.
get detained and monetize it, honestly.
Right. That's all this is about.
I want to monetize my detainment.
I know I'll be videoing it, so I have to take a burner phone. So when they take my regular phone, I have the burner phone to record with.
Yeah. I feel like I forgot to do something. Did I?
Did you?
I don't know. I think
What
I
did you
did.
forget to do?
I think I have some videos. Yep. I have some videos I forgot to upload. I wonder if I can upload videos while I'm live.
Oh, yes, Kelly, they do not want me going menopausal on them. Can you upload videos while you're on a live? I don't know.
We're finding out right now. Ooh, you can. Sweet. See, YouTube's not all bad. Thank you, Thug Life. So what else is going on today?
Oh, I don't know. What is going on? Other than we covered the 2-year-old. We covered, what else was there?
So Carl Quintanilla from CNBC, great guy. I say he's a great guy because he shares my content. Just shared a story from the Wall Street Journal. Cargo shipments from China to the U.S. have completely stopped. shipments out of China for major retailers and manufacturers has ceased. Which, you know, the maps indicate. The impact will be staggering, Carl says.
So, I guess the U.S. Justice Department unit for drug and food safety cases is being disbanded.
The what?
The U.S. Justice Department unit for drug and food safety cases. It ends in September. They handle criminal cases to enforce the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, a federal law that makes it a crime to sell or distribute altered or misbranded food and drugs. It also enforces statutes for the Federal Trade Commission and the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So that was some news today, too.
Any updates on the judge from Wisconsin? Someone asked about the judge. Um, I don't know any more information than we knew yesterday.
No, me neither.
I did hear breaking news. Trump administration has deported 3 more U.S. citizen children. Virginia Gilfrey? Oh, Virginia Gilfrey has passed away. That was the Epstein victim that took her own life. Wow. I heard Pam Bondi somewhere this morning giving her point of view on the Wisconsin judge and saying that she directed them out the back door as an attempt to get them away from ICE, and that's why they arrested her.
Yes, we played the video on here yesterday, Kelly, from Legal Dad.
Can I show a map of the Port of Houston? I can. Give me just a second to pull it up here. I'm actually going to be speaking at the Port of Houston in September at a oil and gas thing.
Oh, nice.
Let's look at marinetraffic.com. Holy cow. Okay. So the Port of Houston looks significantly better than Port of Los Angeles with inbound and outbound stuff. Even Port Arthur looks better. But try to get a good image here. Okay. The reason I can't just pull this up on the screen, I have to screenshot it as an image. If I pull it up on the browser in the software, I'll get a copyright violation from YouTube. So I literally
Right.
have to get a picture and screenshot it and then send it to myself and then post it as just a still image to avoid getting a violation from YouTube, which is, in my opinion, dumb.
Mm-hmm. Um, Steel worker, I think you need to do a little more research on the judge. You got that a little bit messed up there, a little bit wrong. Sorry.
What's that about?
Oh no, she just got it wrong. She said the judge messed up. The court officer is the one that turned her in, and she's got a little bit of misinformation going on there.
Oh, I don't know how that happened.
Remember what they said that he went out the side door, but was put to the front again? Yeah, you got you're a little bit of misinformation. Just letting you know, so you know that what you're saying. You need to do a little more research on it.
All right, so I'm going to pull up the Port of Houston. Um, I'm going to add it as an image. Um, yeah, should be this one.
Oh, you read the arrest report. So you read the report wrong. Okay, understood.
So here is the Port of Houston. And it's definitely got more traffic than, you know, the Port of Los Angeles over here. My guess is that that's pretty similar to what the Port of Houston looks like on a typical day. There's even more traffic at Port Arthur than there is the Port of Los Angeles. And, you know, keep in mind, a lot more stuff comes into the Port of Los Angeles than Port of Houston.
That's still kind of it looks better than Los Angeles, but
That looks pretty
still kind of
typical, I
weak.
would say, for Port of Houston. That's, you know, it may be a little light, but it's not near as jarring as Port of Los Angeles. But the Port of Los Angeles looks a lot more like China than Houston on a typical day. It doesn't look like China, but it looks more like China than it's definitely got a lot more activity than Houston. And the Port of Houston, you can see cargo ships coming in, going out, arrows going both directions. That means trade is happening, things are moving, right? When you look at the Port of Los Angeles, there's no arrows. It's just still and stagnant. No ships coming in, no ships going out. I'm going to reduce this a little further. That way I can just leave it there. So there you go, Troy. I hope that helps. And like I said, that may be light, like it may be slower at Port of Houston than it typically is, but it's not near as shocking as like looking at the Port of Los Angeles. Um, there's at least activity happening.
I think Legal Dad should put more of his videos on YouTube.
Does he not do that?
I don't think so.
I don't know. YouTube is a tough nut to crack, and a lot of people give up on it really quickly.
I don't think he does any videos on there. Like he has an air one of his plane videos because Stillwork said she read the report, but according to her information, doesn't match what Legal Dad had read.
I don't know. I haven't read the report.
I mean, yes, the court officer was the main witness, but the way if you read the whole report, according to Legal Dad anyway, not me because I did not read it yet, but according to Legal Dad, the report states that he went out the door and to the front. So she did nothing wrong. That's the whole thing. You have to read the entire report. That's what I was referring to misinformation about. What she did is perfectly legal.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. It feels like they're going to have to prove intent.
Yes.
Not saying that as a lawyer, but apparently they didn't have any trouble capturing him. Like, didn't he end up in the common area where the ICE officers were?
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. He did go in the elevators in the main hall, and he ended up in the front of the courthouse where the ICE officers were. That's where he was taken to.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what door he went out of. He So she didn't read the whole report. That's the problem she's having.
Hmm.
Like once they get to what they like to read, like they see and they go, "Oh, he's out the back door," so blah blah blah. I'm done reading. You got to keep reading.
So Steelwork says the agent got on the elevator with him. Is that an FBI agent or an ICE agent? Like, I don't. I'm kind of lost in this conversation. But I do think it was
Was
a
it?
message, right?
Oh yes.
So will the message be received by whatever judge is going to try the case? Do you think the case will even be tried, or do you think charges will be dropped?
I think the charges will be dropped if they do it legally. Because according to the law, she did nothing wrong.
Gen X 82, we are
Which,
looking at shipping maps, starting on my far left. The biggest map, that's the Port of Houston. The one in the middle is the Port of Los Angeles. And the one on the other side, the really busy one, that's the Port of Shanghai. I think it's called Port of Shanghai. It's the port at Shanghai. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. And we're looking at shipping activity because China has ceased all shipments of goods to Port of Los Angeles. So Troy asked if we pulled up the Port of Houston to see what's going on there. It's definitely busier at the Port of Houston. A lot of that is oil. Someone rightly pointed out, I don't remember who it was, someone rightly pointed out that the red is oil, and that is correct. Um, so the Port of Houston has more activity than the Port of Los Angeles, and that makes sense. I figured it would. Um, It does look a little light to me. Some people are saying it's more slow than I realize, and that may be true. I don't know. But these are the ports, right? um, because we're going to be facing shortages in the United States in the coming days or weeks. I'm not sure how long it'll take. The only thing that's
Yes.
one thing I read, the only thing that's really helping us right now, the reason the shelves aren't already empty is because we bought so much stuff leading up to it because people knew this was going to happen. So they bought a ton of stuff before it happens, to try to not run out. Um,
Right.
and that's why you saw things like um, that. We bought so much stuff before the tariffs were implemented that it actually showed up in our economic numbers. um, you could see the amount of products we bought ahead of this, knowing that this was going to happen. So that's the only reason the shelves aren't already empty, is because of how much shit we bought knowing this was coming, or they would already be
Yeah,
empty.
because people, yes, because they were buying up like crazy for the tariffs.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at these shipping maps. These particular maps, let me pull this website back up, is marinetraffic.com. That's where these maps come from. Um, I believe another site is shippingmaps.com, but this one is marinetraffic.com. People up north will have to use pine cones since they're the only. Oh, talking about you, Jill.
What?
Brett said people up north have to use pine cones.
No. That's what I said. What? No. I'm not using pine cones. I don't even have pine cones.
You should get some. You should go get some right now. Um,
No.
why not?
I don't need pine cones. Listen, I could use paper. I could use anything. I'm not using pine cones.
Printer paper.
I'll use printer paper. Yes, I don't care. Pine cones would hurt.
Gene Soroka, the executive director of Port of Los Angeles, is predicting a 35% a 35% drop, or a 35% cargo reduction to the port.
So we're going to do this live here, and we're talking about how toilet paper is going to be a shortage. And you know what's going to happen, right? People are going to go out and buy toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then they're probably going to buy eggs too because there's a shortage. And they're going to need the toilet paper because they bought so many eggs.
I'll be out in the front yard dragging my ass across the grass like my dog does after he gets
I'll use the bidet.
after he
The
gets
bidet. I'll use the bidet.
when he comes home from the groomer. He does that for a couple of days.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's because they did the,
yeah,
yeah.
I'll be out there doing that. That could be a good TikTok video.
So I'm sure that would be a messed up TikTok video. That'd be TMI. Um, Someone said, don't we get our toilet paper from Canada? Now I'm sure we get some of it from Canada, but here in Pennsylvania, we get Charmin from Pennsylvania and probably other places too, but they're biggest um, places here in Pennsylvania.
I have no idea where we get toilet paper, honestly. Like, I have no clue. I know where we get oil and gas. That's what I know, right? I know where we get avocados because they're avocados, but I don't know where we get toilet paper.
I'm sure we get toilet paper in quite a few places from quite a few places, but there's some also made here. But like you said, that's not going. If it starts having a shortage, the price is going to go up. Like if you only have certain ones to choose from, and there's only everybody has to start buying those ones that you have to choose from, then prices are going to go up, just like with bread, just like with everything.
So if we make a lot of toilet paper here, we won't have a toilet paper shortage, right? It'll be other things.
But can we make that much toilet paper here? Can we?
It depends. Depends on how much Taco Bell we eat
Do
that
we
week.
do we make enough depends? Do we make enough depends here for Trump to wear? Right?
When we run
That
out of toilet
depends
paper,
too.
buy stock in Taco Bell because their sales are going to plummet. Steve Powers says
Oh
most
my
of the toilet
God.
paper is produced here. That's good. So we'll have toilet paper, right? The reason we had a toilet paper shortage during COVID is because they shut the factories down.
So their cardboard, though, however, comes from what? China. Yeah. Oh yeah. Think about that. The cardboard that the toilet paper is made from and put on comes from China.
You remember that meme with Dave Chappelle with the white line on his lip during COVID? He was trying to get some toilet paper. Oh man. Hi, Rusty. Yeah. Well, I didn't get wet, but it did rain.
Right, Juju? I buy Bounty too because that other stuff doesn't work. Where is Bounty made? I never even looked that one up.
The quicker picker upper.
Yeah,
Bounty or Brawny? Brawny has the
Bounty.
Brawny has the Thor looking guy on it, right?
Right. So bidet is a must, is going to be a must anyway.
I don't have a bidet. Let's go to the car wash.
Oh my God.
What?
And then you come home and drag your ass across the grass.
Yeah. I can just turn on my sprinkler system, and drag my ass across the grass.
Did you ever get a spring? Never mind. I'm not even.
It's like having 100 little bidets out in your yard. You just go squat over one of
I'm
them.
not even gonna say what I was gonna say. Never mind.
What were you gonna
We'll
say?
just forget that. Oh, nothing. I was gonna ask if you ever got caught up on one of the sprinkler systems.
Well, no, I haven't done it yet. I haven't needed to. But they have the wax at the car wash. You put a little wax on there.
My God.
Yeah.
I have to, like, for some reason, aw, snap. There goes your YouTube.
What?
That's what it said, aw, snap. It wants me to reload YouTube because it wants me to watch a commercial.
Mm.
So I have to redo the whole live chat thing. There we go. You did do the live chat thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we squatted walking in a circle so I can follow the sprinkler.
So Lee on TikTok, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Mr. Global, please, Mr. Global, a little boost so I can speak to real people, please. Thanks. A boost of what?
You've got 6 months worth of toilet paper?
Who does?
Horror chick. Heck, we probably do too. I don't know.
So
My wife buys
whenever
those
I
great
cared
big
for,
things of it.
yeah, I do too. Whenever I cared for my mother, I had that much toilet paper, right? So she passed away right before COVID got really crazy. And I had so much toilet paper, I didn't even need to go shopping for it. So it didn't matter when it to me that they ran out.
Are the first quarter
I had
numbers coming out this week? Yes, they will come out end of the month, whenever that is. Next week, yes. Go ahead, Jill.
um I had everything. I had hand sanitizer, I had gloves, I had masks, I had toilet paper. I was set. I had it all
We did
and
too.
lots of it.
We still have a junk drawer that is nothing but little bottles of hand sanitizer. There's probably 100 of them in there.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of them because I would put them by the door when the nurses come in. Um, then they could use that or any guest that came here because I was caring for her. She had lung cancer. So during the winter months, you had to have that, right? And then I also had the pumps on the wall. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I still have some of that hand sanitizer. I still have some of it.
So you remember when I was
And I
in
had
liberal?
Vaseline.
You remember
Huh?
that?
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
You remember the story about the Chinese food place?
I I don't know if I remember it.
You'll
I
remember it
probably
when
have
I
to
say
hear it
it.
again.
I,
Okay.
I went to a Chinese food place, and they had one of those giant bottles of hand sanitizer at the cash register, right? And when you walked in, you had to use it, right? And when you walked out, they charged you a quarter to use it. So they would say, use the hand sanitizer, and you would do it, and then they would say, that's a quarter.
Oh yeah.
And then on the way out the door, because I would use it a lot back in those days during COVID. And then on the way out, I would, and they'd say, that's another quarter. And then you
Oh
remember
my
I did the
God.
math about how
Yes.
many squeezes were in that size of a bottle and how much money they made?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Robert, thank you for the bronze membership. I appreciate it, man. I think it was like $200 or some shit they'd make on a bottle of hand sanitizer. It was insane. So I guess we need to know, Jill, what do we get from China? Because, you know, that's what we need to know. What do we get from China? Like, because that'll tell us what we're going to not have. I'm going to look that up.
Can you hear me?
I can now. I
Can you
just
hear
brought you
me?
back in.
Okay. I was going to say I got kicked.
I'm looking up what we import from China. because that is what we are going to not have, right? What?
I'm just laughing at Bruiser.
Electronics, toys, furniture, machinery tops the list. Let's see here.
So I think everything on like Amazon is pretty much from China, right?
$124 billion of electrical machinery and equipment parts, computers, cell phones, all that stuff. Didn't they grant an exception for that though? Appliances, boilers, machinery, toys, games, sports equipment, auto parts, accessories, plastics and articles thereof, furniture, bedding, cushions, lamps, lighting, fittings, signs, nameplates, prefab buildings, vehicles, tramway rolling stock, parts, iron and steel, optical, photographic, cinematographic, measuring, checking, precision, medical, surgical instruments and apparatuses. Oh my God. Clothes. $10 billion worth of clothes. $10
Don't
billion
forget
dollars
the
worth of
food.
footwear.
We get 90% of our vitamin C from China.
So it makes sense.
We
Someone
get,
earlier said Christmas was going to be a problem. I think it was steelwork. We get a ton of that stuff from China. I am
we
mainly
get,
concerned about food and necessities,
well, we get
Um,
70% of our apple juice from China, 43% of our processed mushrooms, and we get 23% of our garlic and fish. We get a lot of fish from China. What? This cheese wasn't on that list.
adult toys.
Yes, don't forget that. I mean, that's important.
Buy American.
So they want to buy, right? We should buy American made. That's what they're always saying, right? Well, they're about to do that. They're about to going to be forced to do that. And a lot of them people that I know that say buy American made, buy China made everything
Mm-hmm.
because they can't afford American made.
It might be a good time to start up an American adult toy manufacturing facility.
I think it's time. I think we should do that. Like just make uh American made adult toys.
Mr. Global. We can make a Bob with a picture of Bob on it. Probably wouldn't be a great seller, but it could be one of those itty bitty ones.
Yes, dying breed. And my son was just saying, like you said before, about the older the vehicle, the parts are already here. And that's what he was talking about too.
Yeah, I'm agreeing that the parts, the stuff, right? The parts. The stuff we import to make stuff, that's going to be the real problem because
That's going to be yeah,
it's not just we it's not just the assembled goods, it's the parts and the pieces, the stuff we need to make stuff here too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of the stuff that we make here has imported products that they use to make it.
Right.
That's going to be that's going to hit us hard. People aren't understanding how what's going to happen here. Well, I mean, people are understanding. Trumpers are not understanding.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Um, yeah.
So here's the thing. Trump is saying he met with retailers and he might lower the tariffs. That's not going to work. China has been very clear. We don't talk about anything until the tariffs are gone. Gone.
Right.
And then we can talk. So Donald Trump lowering tariffs. And it's pretty obvious who's winning. I mean, this thing between Trump and China, this looks like if you pay much attention to the NBA, this looks like the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the damn Grizzlies right now. China is kicking the shit out of Trump, like really bad. And it's going to get worse every day.
I don't think anyone can be a semi-Trumper anymore. You're either a full-blown Trumper because you're just a Trumper because you voted against the people and all that shit. So that's a full-blown Trumper. There's no such thing as a semi-Trumper. You can't say, "Oh, this policy that he's doing is good, but this one here is destroying the entire country." And that's okay though, because this piece over here is a little bit all right. I'm okay with him importing them, you know, illegals with quotation, but I'm not okay with him, charging me all this money, making me pay all this money. No, that's not how that works.
Right. I He met with nobody. He has no idea what negotiations means. He threatens. That's right, Mary. You're right, 100%. And it's funny to see him coming out and saying, we're talking to China. And then they're like, okay, who's talking to China? And he's like, I don't know. And in the next breath, he says, I'm dealing with this personally. I am handling this personally. Okay, who's talking to China? I don't know. Like they can't get their story straight, you know.
Yes,
They
North Star, that's not a thing. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah.
I was reading a comment.
And what's
See?
crazy is people are believing China. And no one has ever believed anything China said, and suddenly people are believing everything China says because who are they talking back and forth with? Donald Trump.
Yeah.
If I believed China before the person I voted for, then I'm probably thinking, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have voted for that. All right, Jill, let's wrap it up.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. Jill?
Thank you, everyone, for coming in and have a great week.